through stuff, so it feels like you're just always go here. It looks like we're approaching the go moment for this game. Same thing for Viego. Sad we're not going to see him because of all the possible bugs that exist with the champion, but I can't wait when Viego gets released from jail to start talking about some of these interactions. Let's get into it, though. We've made it, Flowers. We're into Champion Select.
Let's do it. The patient have been rewarded, and it's time for the draft. How is it going to shake out here? Pentanet GG versus the Unicorns of Love. We've got Lucian and Nocturne banned out here, as Udyr also still catches a ban this many patches later. This man was so forgotten, so left behind for so long, and now here in 2021, we just cannot kite far enough away from him.
Let them know they'll always remember the name of Udyr now. They were laughing at me all these years. Here we go, though, right into the rest of the bans. Some of the new players on the block. Everybody's been talking about solo lane Lee Sin. Solo lane Lee Sin's dominance has also caused, as I've been tracking so many of these players at their boot camps in solo queue in European West, has also caused a lot of the junglers to start playing Lee Sin again. And while I think it is better in the solo lanes, having the junglers, get their Lee Sin mechanics up in tip-top shape, also give those surprise opportunities to swap it into the jungle in order to get a specific solo lane matchup that you want to go for. So it is definitely a flex pick, although solo lane Lee Sin was probably going to be the king of the block. Varus here, so many AD carry players have been gushing about this champion, especially lethality Varus, and a lot of them have actually opted for the Prowler's Claw instead of the Dustblade because of the mythic passive. Getting 5 more lethality for every other legendary item that you build up really adds up in that lethality for Varus very quickly, even though it's kind of funny to see him with the Prowler's Claw active rather than something like the Dustblade and the invisibility. It actually does do more damage, more effectiveness, because you just get the cooldown reduction with the other one. Moving right along, though, there you go. There's your bottom lane, Flowers.
Okay, Unicorns of Love. They see the Varus. They answer with a Kai'Sa Alistar of their own. Doesn't matter how many patches we have jumped forward, this remains a powerful combo down there.
It certainly does. The kill combination and the team fighting possibilities with Alistar and Kai'Sa. And the first thing this signals to you when you're going through your draft phase, if you lock this duo in on the bottom side, this is a dive possibility here for UOL. They have Alistar can go in, Kai'Sa can follow up on anything, so watch out for a dive composition here. And then when you're on the side of PGG and you're looking at your responses, what sort of disengage can you have, or what sort of close combat abilities? Guess what? Rumble, we've been talking about, very good with these, because if the enemy team is diving in, usually those are melee heavy champions. Rumble can roast them all. Great AoE available for him. All he needs is a little bit of structure. And since you have Varus, you've got some crowd control. Yes, you can use your ultimate offensively to look for picks and set up the barbecue roast looking for offensive utility there, but you can also use it defensively there, and when the enemy team tries to dive in on you, land your CC, Tahm Kench is able to save your carries, and you're able to kind of get this nice counter engage off.
Yeah, whenever you have Varus, you always like to see something along the lines of a Thresh, along the lines of a Tahm Kench, something to keep him safe. This champion has no dash, he has no invisibility, he has no disengage on his own. Having somebody to protect him is going to go a long way. The response to the other side, the Unicorns of Love are going to decide to answer bot lane and jungle with bot lane and jungle, and they'll lock in the Nidalee for themselves before the second part of the ban starts to come through, and we see the Victor and Renekton banned away.
And on a sick Nidalee, I'm incredibly excited here. This is one of the guys you do have confidence in playing this champion. Some teams, some junglers just never really get that prominence with Nidalee. But Knifesyke is so aggressive. He can use the quick clear speed, plus always looking for those invades, getting deep vision down on the enemy, and looking to combine with some CC in the mid lane for no man. So you see already they're banning out some of these just more scaling and utility solo laners on the side of Unicorns of Love. Sion and Victor both taken away, and they're going to save their counter pick for Nomanz for that mid lane. That's where the big surprise can come from. Maybe some point-and-click CC to set up this Nidalee, because thus far, the Gnar on the top side doesn't really have that great synergy with Nidalee, so probably going to look for some action towards that mid lane. Meanwhile, we get another picture here of the Kindred. So the Rumble will be flexed into one of the solo lanes out of the jungle. This is one of the strong points that we mentioned for this champion. In addition to the buffs, you can still use it as a very strong solo laner there. Will be for the mid lane, and they actually pick up the Kindred here for Pabu in answer. Which is a very versatile AD carry, from the jungle when you have frontline elsewhere in your draft. And that's why they combine it with BioPanther's Ornn. This is one of the guys that never stopped playing Ornn, okay? Everybody else kind of jumping off the train, reaching out to the Renekton's, out to the Gnar all the time. But BioPanther's Ornn was so impressive for me during playoffs. He made such big team plays for them and really does provide that structure that we talk about Rumble wanting for the team fights. Plus your Kindred ultimate is that great counter dive we were talking about when you're looking over on the side of Unicorns of Love. They actually rounded out with just a very standard team comp. This Unicorns of Love team comp could be used in almost any meta that we've ever had. Like the opening setup here from Sheepy and the Unicorns of Love. Always on point with the style as well.
Yeah, this is one of those things with the Unicorns composition. You look at each individual champion. You look at the Gnar. You look at the Orianna. You look at that bottom lane combo with the Kai'Sa and the Alistar, and you say all of these look solid on their own. The question I have to pose now is how well do all the pieces come together? Because we always look at Nidalee and we always look at the setup like you were talking about earlier, saying, hey, Gnar, yeah, once he turns into the Mega Gnar, once he has access to the Wallop, once he has the ulti too, you have some setup, but it's not quite the same as something like a Renekton that's just point and click, immediately ready to go every single time. Orianna's another champion that doesn't necessarily guarantee that good setup for the Nidalee. So what I'm looking for this game, a Nanasik to have the accuracy. Dial him in. I don't want to see some Yanko spears. I want to see some Nanasik spears. And I want to see them finding their way into the hearts of those Pentanet GG players. That's what I'm looking at here for this Nidalee. Over on the other side, Pabu, here on the Kindred. This is another one of those picks that, since the playoff patches that we've been used to watching, has received a couple of different buffs. So I want to see if Pabu's able to smurf it up here on this pick. Now, of course, oop. First spear misses. I thought that one was going to connect there for a second. I thought it was going to connect there for a second.
He's dialing in. You're talking about dialing in the accuracy. You gotta throw out a couple of heat-seeking spears first to get your accuracy correct. In the first place, looks like, though, should have fairly standard starts here. Kindred, a lot of times, will start towards the red side because red buff Kindred provides you so much more early game power, and you can even threaten things like going for the super early skirmishes. But it actually looks like Pabu now heading out towards the blue side of the map, for his blue buff start, because his top lane is an Ornn into the Gnar, so he's not going to have a lot of priority on top side, and he wants to clear towards bottom half of the map. Even though Tahm Kench Varus doesn't have hard CC starting out at the early levels, the slow from the tongue from Tahm Kench is enough to really chase people down and have that threat. So Kindred going to be pathing down towards the bottom, trying to work off of some pushing power there. Varus early levels is a very strong laner, and he's just hoping that he's going to get a bottom spawn for the Scuttle Crab for the first mark. That's your ideal start for Kindred, for one of your pushing strong early lanes to be on the side where the mark actually spawns.
The good old Scuttle Crab coin flip for the Kindred players. We'll keep an eye on how that one shapes out, and we'll see specifically if either of these junglers has a better opportunity than the other once they find their way across to these opposite ends of the jungle once more, going through with the clears. You can see it looks like we're going for a full clear here from both players, both stopping off to the wolves before heading into their red quadrants. So everybody's going to be on about the same timers here, it appears.
Yeah, the thing is, until we have those jungle changes that have been kind of teased on Twitter and stuff by the balance team, you're going to highly prioritize full clears or close to full clears to get your camp cycling because the cooldown is so short on it, still the 2-minute respawn, and the value there that you lose is just not worth any sort of early variation in your pathing, especially because they reduced, the bonuses that you actually can get for experience for duo kills and stuff like that. So even with champions, like Kindred, going to want to try and go for close to full clears. And you can already see, playing off the pressure from bottom lane, they actually use it for an early recall here for Praedith, pushing in that third wave and being able to move up into the river here. The River King is establishing river dominance for Pabu to make sure that they're going to be able to get the Scuttle Crab. They do lose the 50-50, so coin flip goes the way of the unicorns. Anonysec will be happy to take away the mark and the Scuttle Crab there from Pabu. So, going to delay a little bit here, the Kindred mark stack up. Again, remember, 4 marks is so incredibly big for Kindred. Trying to get the first 4 ones for the range bonus really does establish a lot of the mid-game power of the champion. Off of this top lane Scuttle Crab as well, you just secure so much, pushing power there for the Gnar. You always want to try and harass the Ornn as much as you can. Bottom side, though, wrapping around for a possible, lane gank here right into the brush.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to find a lot of success with this. I feel like Pabu's probably just chilling here to make sure that their opponents don't try anything, and he'd be there for the counterplay instead. I mean, with Tahm Kench and Varus together, there's not a lot of early playmaking tools here between the two of them, so Pabu will head back to base, but it was Anonysec who backed earlier, so he's out onto the map more quickly. He's already started on his second clear, and if we know anything about jungling and we know anything about Nidalee, Kobe, it's that this champion can run away with the tempo of the game, but down here in bottom side, nice little bit of trading going back and forth, and it's Praedith who's hurt the most.
Yeah, and they also got the cooldown of the Devour out, which is very long in the early levels. They've got defensive vision available to them, though, so a little bit of sneaky maneuver there from Anonysec, using the hop there from Nidalee to try and get around some of the early wards. Decides not to progress with it, though. Again, we mentioned wanting to keep your camp cycling here, and can't actually just give up the opportunity cost. So you lose out on too much golden experience if you're fishing around there. Going for a tower dive early on a Tahm Kench Varus, with all the summoners being available, very, very difficult there, without a lot of health advantage, and just returns to the clear towards this top side of the map.
And you could see there as the camera was hovering over mid, it's Chaz who has total control over that lane, keeping the wave shoved up. No man's forced to farm underneath turret. You can look at his health and mana bars on the side of your screen right now. He's still got that TP ready to go, and he decides to go back to base and then use that immediately. A good choice because he was completely without any presence in the lane whatsoever. Totally out of mana, totally out of health. Now he's back in here. Now he's ready to go. And Chaz won't find any meaningful damage on him before he goes back. That's often something you see players try to do. If they know that they already got their opponent's TP out of the way, they'll try to stick around, get a little bit of damage before they go back and then TP back in themselves. But hey, it didn't work out here this time, and there's another TP, but looks like we might see him. Are they switching up? No, they're not switching up. I thought we might get something cheeky there for a second.
Yeah, one of the things about the draft here is Unicorns being on red side, they're able to hold their counter pick for No Man's for so long, it has to be revealed. The swap from Rumble isn't that big of a surprise because No Man's is able to wait it out for the final pick of the Orianna, and Orianna to Rumble is extremely good. Allows the Orianna, with the extra safety of the range, you can just scale up. The attempted kidnapping on the Scuttle Crab here by Tahm Kench.
I like the try.
Is short-lived, but does delay and does pull the rest of the team down further towards bottom side, allowing Pabu to at least move in, clear out a ward.
I like the fact that he went for it. Yes, they didn't have the manpower to secure the thing, but just doing that, I love to see it. Back down here on the bottom side, Praedith will clear out these minions. Lodic will start to channel the recall, but then has to step back as his opponents once again are going to continue trying to apply that pressure. But talking about pressure, Kobe, it's Pabu in the enemy jungle looking to take away here with this blue buff. We'll see if he can secure that one. It's losing patience rather rapidly. He doesn't want to have to fall back any further. There he goes. Gets it right as Anonysec just sees it on the very edge of his vision, and he'll back away. Pabu, though, still level 5 compared to the level 6 of his opponent.
Yeah, Nidalee, Ananisek's greater focus on clearing on his camps has been able to get the extra level lead, but that blue buff steal was basically afforded by Chaz. Rumble had pushed up on mid and had the early route towards the inside. Shockwave does land.
Oh, Ananisak going in. Pabu taken low, 150 HP left on him. Spear comes out over the wall, won't find a target. They didn't know that Nidalee was there, and they almost found themselves in a real bad spot.
Yeah, Ananisak ready to punish them. I mean, they wanted to even just tank the Shockwave and keep on chasing through with Tom Kench behind them. Ananisek's able to fend them off with the spear, but he actually is able to answer with his blue buff steal here because of the spear, chunking down the health. Pabu, though, is up to the level 6, so has Kindred ultimate available, can buy a lot of time. That being said, should be able to finish off the Gromp as well. Execution damage there for Ananisak, and keeps up the experience advantage that he has. Plus, able to push out on both solo lanes here. With Boss here on this Gnar, continually trying to harass the Ornn back and away, allows Ananisak to just start up this Rift Herald. And that is what we were talking about in Champ Select, the top triangle focus for Unicorns of Love. Rift Herald is so big of an objective if you don't have to spend bottom resources to get it. One of the biggest problems we've seen is teams committing entire bottom lanes, losing waves, losing tower plates down bottom in order to get this Rift Herald. But if your jungle and top triangle don't have to sacrifice anything to get it, all of a sudden, you get a ton of pressure.
Oh, and talking about pressure, here we go! Unicorns of Love with the first blood.
Slams him into the wall there. I mean, Gnar and Nidalee, it's not super easy to combine, for those stuns, for the guaranteed Nidalee spears, but Boss lines him up right on the tower, and Bio Panther stunned in place, can't dodge the spear. Easy execution there from Ananisak, and they already had the Rift Herald, so even though they trade off the first dragon here to Pentanet, they actually get so much money. This is just going to balloon the gold lead for Unicorns of Love. Top kill.
That's a whole damn turret.
Entire turret. It's the benefit of getting that Rift Herald. You can just execute those last turret plates, even with all the extra armor and magic resistance on it. True damage comes through from the Rift Herald. So the last 2 turret plates go down. Perfect timing here, and it just gives you such an enormous lead.
Yeah, I was looking at the gold when the junglers were skirmishing over the Gromp and the blue and all that stuff before the first blood happened. It was about a 300 lead for the Unicorns. Now it's 2,500 after the first blood value, after 5 turret plates and first turret bonus. Kobe, if that's me, I'm happy to trade the first Drake of the game for that every single day of the week.
Yeah, not many junglers would rather have the single dragon buff for their team unless their team is specifically built for early game dominance to stack these dragons and work to that soul. Having afforded this giant gold lead makes it so that even though you get the early dragon, the Unicorns of Love, they've already got top dominance there with the tower down. They can push that lane out. They have so much gold that they can then fight you off of attempting to get any value out of stacking dragons. And it makes it so difficult to continue on with the later Drakes because you're fighting into completed mythic items. Look at the inventory right now. Mythics are so big in this game. Already Stridebreaker, already the Night Harvester there for Boss, for Ananisak. These guys come to town.
Look at the money.
They are gonna slap, okay? Gnar with Stridebreaker having an extra dash in the kit is insane. We've seen it all split long in spring with Flash, with Teleport available, with the Stridebreaker, and all the money from the top side, Rift Herald and kill play that they were able to pull off. Those two can destroy team fights, even on the other side of the map here for Unicorns.
Yeah, these two are the ones that are primed and ready to go, but also worth pointing out, look at the farm there in mid lane. It's Nomans who's 10 ahead of anybody else here in the game. And remember, Nomans is not somebody to be easily forgotten. This is the highest damage per minute player in the entirety of the LCL. Nomans who's 10 ahead. This is the guy who doesn't care.
All right, we're got some issues with your microphone, Flower, so I'm gonna go solo here, and we're gonna have a fight. All right, they're gonna fend him off with the spear, though. 50% HP there from Ananisak. Actually just nails Pabu in the face and deters any action. Thank goodness. All right, I don't have to talk too fast then. Unicorns can continue to stabilize down here. You see Ananisak actually wrapping around for another possible aggressive play, but the vision from PGG allows them to pull off once again. It is the defensive support there with the Tom Kench able to save them from any extra aggression. And Pentanet, their hope is to scale. If you can continue to keep it even here, push out the waves, and then get to your team fight phase, remember about all of the setup and synergy between these champions, for the possible second dragon fight. Ornn Ultimate, BioPanther's been really good at joining the teams, setting up these team fights. That thing, if you're able to layer it on and time it perfectly with your Rumble Ultimate and layer Varus on top of it, can even overcome some of these big gold deficits that you're having to fight your way out of. So their strength is gonna have to be in grouping up and finding that coordination and hoping for the big roast from Chaz. He's closing in on that level 11, so the extra rank there in Rumble Ultimate goes a long way. Minute and 20 seconds left on this dragon. You can ping me whenever you've got your mic issues sorted out, Flowers, and we'll get you right back in here for the action. Until then, we're gonna check in on Unicorn's continued aggression. Boss wants to use his ultimate right before he turns back into Mini, and he deletes Babu off the face of Summoner's Rift. Oh my God, what a combo there for him. Boss, you thought he was ahead already. Stride breakers in as the Mega Gnar is turning off. He gets to finish it, uses it. Boulder just blows Pabu up. No chance to flash, no chance to pop his Kindred ultimate. And Boss just does it better. Oh my goodness. All right, well, that was fun. Nice little play-by-play initiation here. Teleport gonna get right back out here on the screen for No Man's. You just gotta brush that one off if you're Pabu. Honestly, that was brutal. Look at this. Okay, Boss is closing in. Never mind, right back to live. Chaz is dying. Looks like it's going to be an escape for him here. Flowers, you're counting in my ears at the moment. Chaz, though, only 100 HP left there. No Man's can't finish it, even though it's a good individual play from him. Team difference comes in. BioPanther and the rest of Pentanet trying to converge. They want to make use of that synergy. Here, let's see if they can actually do it. They have no Ornn Ultimate available, though, so the team fight gets really dicey. Shockwave is also down on the side of Unicorn, so maybe Pabu steals. No, he does not. He's going to have to jump back out. No harm, no foul there. Does get hit by the spear, though. He's going to have to get off on the edge, and they finish it. Boss, once again, jumps right in, gets the stun against the wall. Even with the exhaust, they chase him through their own jungle here. Santos actually headbutts him to safety, and even with just losing Pabu there, and it's an exchange as PGG get 1-for-1. No Man's going down. No Shockwave really did hurt Unicorns. They get the dragon, though. They stop that PGG stacking that we were talking about. The extra gold coming in big and trying to shove them off. Pabu actually bought a lot of time there with the ultimate and tried to delay, but definitely goal accomplished here for Unicorns of Love. Here's another look at it. They're focused on the dragon. Boss is trying to run interference on the rest of the team. And even though Pabu attempts to go for the steal here, he takes a spear on the way out. And that spear marks him for death. Boss does it again. Gets right in there. They just squash Pabu. In the meantime, though, you see on the right side of your screen, Rumble Ultimate, no joke there. Roast down No Man's. And without the Shockwave, didn't have as much teamfight control as we will see later on in the game for Unicorns. So good at least trade there for getting 1 kill for PGG. It's going to be a drop in the bucket as far as the gold, though. And now that the dragons are split as well, there's not an advantage that PGG can try and have as a crutch, building up towards the mid stages of the game. Let's see if they can actually recover from this, and if Flowers can fix up the microphone there. I heard a little bit of an update. Not a sec, though. Red Smite does go down. Jumps off. Rumble Ultimate gets him to 50% HP, and he is out of there. No Man's has him with the extra speed up here on Orianna. You can see this is all taking place while Unicorns are splitting. So they're getting extra money for pushing both side lanes out. Kaisa on the top side. Extra levels in her go a very long way, approaching that level 11 for Logic, so he can follow up on some of these plays. Oh, thank God. Welcome, my friend.
Okay, I don't think I'm a Terminator anymore. If I am, we're just going to have to fix it again. But for now, we are back, and we're still in a game with about a 3,000 gold deficit. Let's do it. Kobe, you are hereby officially relieved of play-by-play duties. I'm sorry. Take a drink of water, buddy. You deserve it. After talking nonstop for what feels like an eternity now, I'm just sitting here on the sideline, chomping at the bit, ready to go. All right, all right, all right. We got ourselves, ooh, okay. As soon as I get back into the game, we got the chains of corruption flying out there, just barely not finding the target. I like the fact that they're going for it, though, but here in the side lane, man, it's still just Boss's world.
It is Boss's world. He is aptly named right now. Boss of Summoner's Rift has been the story so far. Huge individual plays from him, targeting Pabu over and over. And we haven't even had to see one of the big counters, which is usually, oh, Gnar can then sweep the team off of the Kindred ultimate. You know why? Because Boss has just swept Kindred off of the entire map here. He's just 100%ing Pabu whenever he gets over there. But again, they do have multiple displacements on the side of Unicorns. The Alistar, the Orianna, the Gnar, all these things that can cause a problem for later usages of Kindred ultimate. Since we're focused so much on play, we didn't get to touch on it earlier in the match, but that is going to be another problem for Pentanet and Pabu to try and deal with as they move forward. Again, though, yes, they are behind. Yes, they are underdogs, coming into this. They've got to try and focus on that team synergy. BioPanther is at the crux of it. So he holds his ultimate here. He flashes out of the possible combo and chase down here from Boss. If they have their ultimates, though, that is their big hope, trying to get some lineup here. If you're able to snare No Man's / Lodic, maybe both in an optimal world, and layer that Rumble ultimate and the ultimate there from Ornn, maybe they can make a big play at one of these team fights. If you win the team fight, get right back into it. 50 seconds left on this Dragon. I expect Unicorns to have a much better setup because they have so much more control. They can try and push into the river first, and it makes it very difficult. If an Orianna pushes into the river first and gets to push the ball back and forth, denying you some of these entry points into it, then it gets really difficult. But PGG, good setup from them. Pentanet, they are there first, into the river. Control wards are down, trying to zone, trying to make the most of this Rumble ultimate. Can they catch Unicorns in one of these small corridors? If you head them off in the jungle as they're approaching, it's so much easier to try and get one of those godlike comeback ultimates.
Unicorns of Love just seem to be happy to march it down mid right now. If PGG want to control the Drake Pit, they're going to control the Tier 2 turret. Demolish ticking down. There's the proc on that. BioPanther decides it's time to fight. Equalizer comes down. No Man's and Lodic separated from the rest of the team, but honestly, Kobe, both the Ornn ulti and the Rumble ulti used for only 40% HP on 2 players? That is not enough.
You know what that signals to me, Flowers?
That's a green light for the Dragon if you're UOL.
Yep, those ultimates were PGG waving bye to that Dragon. That Dragon is gone, long gone. Maybe they're a little bit scared about fighting the fight in the first place, and they want to put it off until the 3rd Drake, which is a possibility if they can continue to try and scale evenly. But the problem is that it's actually difficult for them to stay even because they've lost, outer towers so early on in top and mid. You lose out on your blue quadrant jungle camps very frequently. So Nidalee is well positioned to go counter jungle a lot, and the gold lead that Unicorns have can be a problem that's just exacerbated by delaying to the next Dragon. You see them finishing up on the last outer turret here now. They may even have a more solid setup, more solid lead when moving forward here. But PGG looking for a pick. They've got to get something going for themselves. Flash is used in an attempt.
Okay, No Man's puts a little bit of damage back into Chaz here. He's still pretty low on mana. And with that last bit of damage flying over the wall, No Man's probably doesn't want to stick around here too much longer. Has Santa's here.
Oh.
Okay, no. We're not quite going to get that here just yet. I feel like we probably would have seen the camera shift to the right. You got to learn how to read the observers.
Some tells.
Yeah. We're using some context clues.
Yeah. The future hacks there. Honestly, though, the execution damage on Varus, when they buff that.
Thank you, observer.
Your little tap there. Now they're trying to bait, that now that you signaled your tricks, it can be in your head.
They know that I'm trying to expose the secret techniques, so they're going to make sure that they clown on me a little bit now, but that's okay. That's okay. We got the Unicorns of Love defending underneath the Tier 1 turret up here right now. Praedyth and Decoy trying to get whatever damage they can into the last remaining part of the health bar here. Still 0 turrets taken by Pentanet so far. They really want to pick up some of this standing gold and start to close that gap.
Yeah, I mean, it's we can count all of the issues that they have because we've been trying to look for their comeback play, but without being able to save their ultimates defense and make a big ultimate push for one of these 5-on-5 fights, which is the only way you can actually gain ground back into this game, they're going to have so many issues to deal with. Okay, Gnar, we've been talking about Boss forever. He's a big problem, obviously. We'll push in any side lane uncontested. They cannot deal with him, but we haven't even been focusing on No Man's. This man is smashing here, racking up the CS.
Yeah.
He's even been pushing out to the side lanes. 200 and almost 40 CS for him.
Plus 50 over his opponent.
At 22.5 minutes here, okay? No Man's is absolutely steamrolling ahead here, just printing money, being able to pick up side lanes. This is not off of kills or anything right here for him. Here comes the Ornn ultimate. There's another attempt, but again, the Ornn ultimate and the Rumble ultimate both used in an attempt for a pick and gets nothing. It's just sidestepped here. So now you've got a long duration, another minute and a half that PGG basically have to wait or have to get some mistake out of Unicorns to make a comeback.
Well, Santa's going in here playing pretty aggressively, decides to step back, doesn't want anything else to do there with that fight, doesn't have to use the ulti to get away. But I really did like No Man's little sidestep there when they tried to engage on him with the ultis in the jungle, just recognized that the hitbox wasn't quite wide enough on that Ornn ulti, so he just walked to the left. No big deal.
Walk to the left, walk to the right. He's doing his camera jutsu as well. He's learned from you by taking advantage here. Number one step is don't stand in fire. Okay, got that.
Okay,
Don't stand
all
in the
right, that's
rumble.
pretty easy.
Number two, dodge the giant ram that's coming at you.
Yeah.
And Oriana.
Also a fire ram.
Fire ram as well.
The ram is made of the fire that you tried to dodge already, so it's just double fire. You don't want to get fired. Pretty easy stuff here, but we still have ourselves, Kobe, a 5,000 gold difference between these teams. It's exactly as you said a couple of minutes ago when we were watching Boss knock down that tier 1 turret in the bottom lane. These gold advantages keep building and keep building. And if the strategy is to stall out for a better fighting spot, I'm not a League of Legends expert. I peaked at Diamond 1, but I'm pretty sure that we don't want to keep waiting until we're 15,000 gold behind.
Yeah, I mean, even though they do have Ornn item upgrades that will be coming in now, it's still very difficult for them. You know, because Pabu. Oh, here we go again.
Oh boy, that spear did not feel good. And now they're just waiting around. Pabu has to flash over the wall just to stay alive, and Chaz is having a bad time in mid lane. Boss just chasing him down there, doesn't want to go any further. Chaz at about 1/3 HP, 40 seconds to go till that Drake is live.
I was gonna say, normally some of the team fight scaling that you want to rely on towards the mid game here with this composition is that your Kindred carries a lot of the DPS burden there, because Varus is going lethality. You are huge poke damage. And actually getting the Muramana transform, I just think this item is so turbo broken right now.
It's so strong.
It's very, very big for him, but they get engaged on again.
Okay, Santos is coming in. He's ready to go. He's ready to tank. Nice two-man shockwave into the double kill for Logic, and they are off to the races, baby. The Unicorns of love. They're ready to go.
Oh, they've been going all match long, too. And guess what's next, Flowers? The Baron is on the menu. Bottom lane down here for PGG. All they can do is pray for some sort of miracle, because the Unicorns of Love are going to slam this one down. They give up the Dragon. This is only number 2 for PGG, so no problem here. With the Baron buff, they will be able to crash inside the PGG base. This is going to be the moment of truth for Pentanet. Can they hold their ultimates for the perfect combination while defending at one of these inhibitor towers? Because that's where Unicorns will be marching incredibly quickly here. They only went for a couple of resets there. Everybody else pushing out onto the map. You can see Ananasek still continuing to deny these jungle camps, continuing to widen the gold gap here for Unicorns before even joining the rest of the team to finish up this siege. Here's another look at it from the perspective of PGG as they walk down mid lane. Santos with a beautiful flank here. He's hiding up on the top side. This is the advantage of having such strong vision control. Alistar right into the middle, zones them off right as he gets spit out from the Tom Kench. It's perfect timing on the shockwave, and bye-bye Varus.
Yeah, that Axe Effect replay did a good job of showing just how quickly they both disappeared. Looked like about half HP left on Varus, and then poof, no HP left on Varus. Not really the best experience for an AD carry, but that's the life sometimes, as Unicorns of Love sets up what looks to be a 3-2 double-pronged attack here with Boss and No Man's in the bottom lane. Everybody else hanging around in mid, getting those waves shoved up, wanting to apply pressure to multiple locations at once. Nanasek will keep throwing those spears over the wall, trying to land any amount of poke at all. Everything adds up over time, my friend. Those spears keep on flying, those minions keep on dying, and the turrets will remain under pressure.
All right, knock knock flowers, it's the Unicorns of Love at your front door. And guess what? They've baroned up these minions. Bottom tower's already down to 20% HP. They can just ping pong between the two minion waves. They have not been able to sync them up because it is actually kind of difficult at this stage of the game since they push so quickly through the mid lane automatically. And the delay there, they're actually just going to want to finish off this bottom tower. Santas, once again, positioning for possible flank play. He's got Hex Flash available, and he Pabu sticks his head out and gets chopped off!
Pabu is just dead immediately. Really good game sense there to go after him, and now they're going to be going straight in for the team fight. Turret's already down. Make it 1, make it 2, make it 3. Unicorns of Love are mopping up everybody, and they are going to make sure this thing is squeaky clean. Bottom lane inhibitor is gone. Teleport is coming in. Do they want to stick around any longer? They have 15 seconds until Pabu is back alive. Holy cow, No Man's saying No Man is going to be left alive after this. You got Chaz running away, the turrets are falling apart, and the Unicorns of Love will find their first win here at MSI 2021.
And holy moly, what a stamp right there from Unicorns. They put their stamp on this group right now. It's going to be an uphill battle for PGG. Opening day here for them, 0-2, and this is only a 3-team group, so they've lost to both competitors. Very, very difficult. They're gonna have to regroup, take some time, focus on some new strategies here to pull out at MSI. I know they were fighting an uphill battle from the very beginning, you know, with Oceania, merging with North America, losing a lot of the players in the region, but this team has definitely had an upbeat attitude and has been looking forward to it. So, you know, hopefully we can see a resurgence for them. On the other side, though, man, I'm excited for Unicorns of Love. Dominating, well-deserved win there. Huge, huge plays from Boss. Very, very big plays from Santas as well. Nice flanks from him. Alistar controlling these team fights extremely well, and you like to see that level of execution coming out. Day one from the Unicorns of Love. They have been one of the most consistent organizations appearing at international events throughout the history of League of Legends, and they continue it here today.
Really, really good start here for the Unicorns of Love. You love to see a team come out in their first game and just absolutely go to town, have a great time, and look like everybody is on the same